This case takes place in the USA. In September of 2025, a case at a Dallas motel shocked the state and even drew international attention. What began as a mundane argument escalated into a horrifying event witnessed by onlookers and captured on CCTV. This is the case of Chandra Nagamallaiah. Chandra Nagamallaiah, affectionately known as Bob, was born on the 2nd of December 1974 in India. He was an entrepreneur in India, but moved his family to Dallas, Texas in 2018 seeking better opportunities. By 2025, he was the hardworking and friendly manager of a Downtown Suites Motel in Old East Dallas, where he lived on site with his wife and their 18-year-old son, Gaurav. Friends and family described Chandra as a devoted husband, a loving father, and a kind soul who always avoided conflict. Wednesday, September 10th, 2025, began then an ordinary morning at the motel. Shortly after 8 a.m., Chandra was working alongside two employees, one of whom was Yordanis Cobos-Martinez. Yordanis was cleaning a ground floor room, room 108, when an argument erupted over a broken washing machine. Chandra instructed Yordanis not to aid the washer. However, a language barrier existed between them. Chandra did not speak Spanish, and Yordanis did not speak English. Chandra asked a female coworker to translate his instructions. The act of using a translator made Yordanis feel deeply disrespected, that if Chandra was not addressing him directly. Yordanis became enraged, exchanged heated words with Chandra, and then stormed out of the room in anger. But moments later, Yordanis returned to room 108, this time armed with a large machete. Without warning, he began a savage attack, repeatedly hacking at Chandra with the blade. Chandra suffered terrible stab and slash wounds but managed to rake away and run for his life, screaming for help. He bolted from the room and sprinted across the parking lot towards the motel main office where his family was located. Security cameras captured the horrific chase, with Yordanis close behind, wielding the machete. Hearing the commotion, Chandra's wife and son ran out from the office, only to witness the ongoing attack. They desperately tried to intervene, but Yordanis, in a frenzied state, forcibly shoved them aside. An onlooker pulled Chandra's wife and son to safety, urging them to retreat. Yordanis showed no mercy. He continued to violently swing the machete at Chandra, but he lay unconscious in the parking lot. He paused briefly to go through Chandra's pockets, taking his mobile phone and a lanyard with keycards. He then resumed the attack with even greater brutality, grabbing Chandra's head and hacking through his neck until it was severed from his body. By approximately 8:30 a.m., Chandra was dead, his body mutilated on the ground. The attacker actions grew even more gruesome. Yordanis picked up the severed head, placed it on the ground, and kicked it twice across the parking lot, as if it were a soccer ball. He then calmly picked the head up again, walked to a nearby dumpster, and tossed it inside. All of this occurred in broad daylight, in full view of horrified witnesses. At 8:31 a.m., the emergency responders arrived. Paramedics, seeing the active danger, held back at a safe distance. They discreetly followed Yordanis as he walked away from the scene, covered in blood and still holding the machete. Dallas police units converged on the area and located Yordanis about a block away from the motel at 8:35 a.m. He was arrested without resistance. He was still holding the bloody machete and had Chandra's cell phone on him. So who was this man? Yordanis Cobos-Martinez was born in Cuba in March of 1988. He had entered the United States illegally and had a long, violent criminal history across Florida, California, and Texas. His past arrests included felony grand theft auto, attempted carjacking, during which he was reportedly naked, assault, and indecency with a child. An immigration judge had already ordered him deported, but Cuba refused to accept him due to his criminal record. Under U.S. law, he could not be held indefinitely. Consequently, on the 13th of January 2025, IC released him from detention on an order of supervision. By September 2025, he was living in Dallas and working at the motel. Following his arrest for this murder, officials described him as a barbaric criminal with an extensive rap sheet. Back at the motel, investigators processed the horrific scene. They found Chandra's decapitated body and retrieved his head from the dumpster. During police interrogation, Yordanis immediately confessed to the crime. The motive was incredibly trivial. He became enraged over the perceived disrespect of Chandra, using a translator to speak to him. There was no indication of premeditation. It was a case of sudden, uncontrollable rage turning lethal. By late morning, Yordanis was formally charged with capital murder. An ICE detainer was also placed on him, meaning he would be transferred to federal custody even if released on bail, though no bail was granted. The police investigation led overwhelming physical evidence, blood evidence, fingerprints, and most damningly, the complete surveillance video footage of the entire crime. The story made international headlines, though it was somewhat overshadowed by another major news event that day. Just 3 days after the murder, Chandra's family held his funeral service. An online fundraiser was launched to assist the family, quickly surpassing its goal that the community and public rallied to support them. The case against Yordanis is considered watertight. With his confession, the video evidence, and multiple witnesses, the trial will lately focus on his punishment, not his guilt. He faces either the death penalty or life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. The case of the Dallas decapitation remains one of the most gruesome in recent memory. A tragic story of a gentle life ended by unimaginable violence.